Xavia Fox.
Fox show's gonna be on the red carpet doing her Xavia Fox red carpet thing.
Hey, everybody. Yeehaw! Oh, you can't win if you're not in the game. Give me a beat. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Xavia Fox Talks, and I am still your host, Xavia Fox. Today is the Brothers of the Round Table. What men think about relationships. What they think about relationships. We're going to Marcus' question. Should women take more accountability for the men they choose instead of saying men are no good?
Alright, I'm going to go in on that one. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, damn it, it's a duck. If you go see that brother, yo baby yo, pulling up calling you all types of bitches and hoes, and he got his pants sagging down, and he got kids by other women, and you know this, and then you continue the relationship with that brother, you end up pregnant, and before you know it, here you are complaining about it. To me, I'm like, shut the F up. You got what you deserve. The same thing goes for a man. If I'm walking around with that hoochie mama, with her skirt pulled up, and she, trying to get attention from every guy on the block, and I go and choose to be with that woman, and lo and behold, she cheats on me and find out that the kid's not mine, that's my real story, I got what I deserve. So yes, people, especially women and men, are accountable for the people they date. You can't, sooner or later there comes a point in your time where you have to look yourself in the mirror. Where did I go wrong? Did I know? Nick Khalid talked about this all the time, about his previous relationship. There was a point in time when you knew that, man, this probably ain't the one. I probably should turn back. I think everyone has that moment of clarity in all your relationships.
True.
That moment of clarity, like, man, I should probably turn back now. But there's something about that relationship that keeps you going forward, and it's usually physical. Let's be real about it.
With the fellas.
It's usually physical. That's what I'm saying. They say BBD had that song, "Never Trust a Big Butt and Smile." There you go. But if you fall for that big booty and that smile, I'm just telling you, you can be in for a world of hurt. And to me, yeah, you bear some level of accountability for that. You have to be accountable for the people who you associate with, especially comes to relationships. And women especially, because you guys, you bury children. Let's face it, I don't have to carry a kid. I have not real options, but I do have options that say, oh, you pop up pregnant, peace out. You can't run from that baby. Now there's other ways, and that's how I'm not getting into politics right now, but that's your body. But at the same time, at the end of the day, you have more of a connection to that child, especially for the first 9 months by carrying it. And although, yeah, you can get me out of child support and all that other stuff, but at the same time, you have to answer those questions. Where my daddy at? So if you choose a man who's not responsible, who's not holding down the job consistently, not trying to work, I gotta sell drugs to feed my kids. Look, let's keep it real. You selling drugs for some Jordans and for some rims. You know what I mean? My granddad always told me, if you can't find a job, create one. Go shovel snow, rake leaves, sell straws, open up a lemonade stand. That'll buy some Pampers at least. But that's my opinion. So you are accountable, women, for the guys you date. You gotta own up to it sooner or later.
Well, if you think back on that, if I can, you're accountable because you put up a sign when you put on them clothes that make up that. You attracted what it was that you think you are presenting yourself to be. So when that individual comes and says, I've got your message, you're accountable for the message you put out. My daughter is 12 and she's already developed, more developed than the rest of the girls in there. And she's not sure how she wants to dress. She wants to dress conservative. Good, because if you do anything different, and I've let her have that conversation, you're going to draw the person I'm telling you I'm going to beat up. I said, but now if you draw him and you accept him as he is, why am I going to beat up somebody because you accepted him? I had a sister once, not that did anything to her, but wanted me to beat up somebody. I'm military, so she think I beat up everybody. And back in high school, that was cool. But now I'm a grown man. She said, yeah, this dude, he led me to believe, blah, 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 now he married, blah, blah, blah. I said, where'd you meet him? In a rolling rig. Did you sleep with him? Yes. How many times? Several. Okay. Now, what's the problem? Oh, he's married. Okay, but did you sleep with him? Did you check him out? Did you make that relationship go more than 3, 6 months to a year before you check things out? Then you went out there in your little tights and your skates and you did a little cutesy and you got him in. And now he got you out. How am I going to beat up a man for being a man? That's the kind of dog he was. So I'm not going to do it. Now, if this man put his hands on her, he'd have a phone call, and it'd be outside his house. That's different. So I think you're accountable for your actions, both men and women, but especially women, because they're the ones advertising. Men are going out to look and find something. Women are going out to be seen. Otherwise, they wouldn't put all that fake stuff on. So I'm very much in your boat when it says women are accountable, because men would not react unless a woman put it out.
All right. I agree with them because I think at the end of it all,
You're playing.
I do too.
No,
You're thinking too hard. Just let it out.
I know. I know what I'm about to say. At the end of it all, we are responsible for the things that we do. So I don't want to disregard that. But a lot of times, I don't think it is as easy as they make it out to be. Not every guy who ain't no good is wearing baggy pants and whatever, is selling drugs, is whatever. There's a lot of guys out here who are just like vampires. Everything about them attracts a woman and brings them in. And then at the end of it, they killing them. I mean, there's a lot of guys out here who gives you that good package. I mean, come on. Some of them probably in here right now. So, I mean, you
Used to be. I was born.
So, I mean,
Hey, why you looking at me?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I could be looking in the mirror. But I'm just saying, you know, we talk well, we speak well, we attractive, whatever, we got good jobs or whatever. You know, we come and we know what to say. A lot of us know how to talk to girls and do whatever. We know how to play the little game. Act like, you know, we always available, like we not doing anything. And then all the while we like, she cool. But we ain't giving them no real, no real substance. And it's easy for us to say this because we know what we are. And we think that what we're saying to them or what we're doing to them is obvious. But it's not obvious to them because women, they project. They project the things that they think in their head onto us. So a woman is probably thinking, hey, I wouldn't do this with a guy if I didn't like him. I wouldn't sleep with him if I didn't like him. And so therefore, she's thinking that's the reason why he's doing that to me. That's why he's having sex with me. That's why he took me around his parents or whatever. When I tell you, listen, I know a guy who would take a girl to his mama's house Thanksgiving, take another girl Christmas. Now these girls thinking, they the one. I just met his mama on Thanksgiving. All the while, he looking like, yeah, okay, whatever. So, I mean, at the end of it all, he is right when he says there's probably a little thing in your head, but not everybody listens or not everybody knows for sure that, some people think that, man, maybe that's just me being paranoid or whatever. We really don't know because it's hard to know what's in another human being's head. It's hard to know that, especially if you already projecting your feelings and your expectations on somebody else. So, yeah, they're responsible, but to a degree, men need to do better.
I know.
And we need to be a little bit more honest with the stuff that we do and with the people, because we know what we're doing. But we know what they thinking. We know that they thinking, oh, yeah, she really liking me, she thinks she my girl, because it serves our purpose. So I mean, so let's not try to act like we don't know that. We may say to them when they bring it up, baby, we just doing this, but we know what the hell
we don't understand women. You guys are so complex.
I mean, and if y'all don't know, if y'all didn't know that's what y'all was doing, I know I did.
Right.
So, and I know I ain't the smartest person when it comes to the game. So I know some of y'all know too. That's all I'm saying.
But that works for some women too now. So you ain't out.
Men ain't that complicated to figure out though. You understand something? We're not that complicated. Now, women, if you tell a man I love a guy in a blue shirt, I guarantee every time they come around, you're gonna be wearing blue shirt. Men are the masters of pandering. Okay, you say I love a man in a clown suit. He's gonna show up in a clown suit. And if you really want to let him think, he might have balloons. But that's the actual fact. Women, we talked about this in my sociology class in college, who have the power. Women have all the power. Wars, everything revolves around what a woman wants. Men, we don't do things for what us. Like I don't personally, I go to the mall, I'm going in for a black belt, brown shoe. The first black belt, brown shoes, I'm grabbing out of there. women tend to do things more so for them than for us. Like you said, when they dress, they don't dress because they know we don't care. You know what I mean? Baby, how I look in this? You look great. You know, I don't even have to turn my head. That's going to be my response 10 out of 10 times.
Right.
You know what I mean? But women, they do things for themselves. But how far as how they dress, yeah, ultimately, yes, that does project a certain image and a certain way men are going to perceive them. But at the same time,
But doesn't that present another issue where, and I've always had this theory where you say men, I say black men are probably the biggest punks when it comes to the sexual power of a woman. Because as you said, there's nothing a black man won't do, and we were talking about white women and what have you, to get what they want. And unfortunately, we're the biggest punk, because once we get it and we're married and whatever, who's in charge? Now, I had a construction business for about 8 years. And every time I went in there, the black man only had to verify, and you talk about partnership, but no, she had to verify how much she's going to put out on that project. And then tell him to go to the ATM and get it paid back. And so there's a point when we're a bunch of punks, because if we had our stuff together, a woman cannot tell you, nor can you tell her if it's a partnership, but woman cannot tell you how things are going to be. Is she going to be wearing something? I let a woman know right away. If she's big-breasted, yeah, you can wear what you want, but if it's causing so much attention that everybody else thinks they can get that, you need to go talk to those who think they can get that, because obviously you're not letting me know this is just for me. You cover some of that up. You know, so they're not dumb. They know what they're doing. And men are, I'm sorry, black men, we got some issues. I'll let a woman know in a heartbeat, you know, if I can't do for you what you do for me, we aren't made to be together. I think black women hold themselves to a higher, or hold black men to a higher accountability to a standard they won't hold themselves. Black women will live with their mamas, but if they find a black man at home with their parents, oh, that nigga ain't shit. And I'm like, hold on now.
Yes.
You telling me you won't,
Yes.
you won't even date yourself, your standards are so high, but you ain't got shit for me? And so I'm really hard on women, because if they can handle that equality, they call for equality, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna take you out, wine and dine you, but there are times you might have to come get me, or you might have to help me with my daughter, or you might, and that's why I had a 3-year relationship, and that's what broke off. I want to go to the Bears game. Well, you know that's my weekend. Why do you buy tickets if that's my daughter's weekend? Or just get a babysitter. Now you tell me when I need a babysitter for my child? This relationship, I think, is over. I broke off the Bears game. Did they win? It was game over. You might have to tell her something, you know her, but no. No, and she's a beautiful, sweet woman. I'm not at all talking about her character or whatever. I wish it had worked out. But she was about herself. And she had standards that did not include me. And therefore I had to move on. I'm going to find somebody that's going to understand. Bonnie and Clyde, we can do this together. Ride and die, like you said.
Well, I just want to just add in to the stew that we always got to go back to the core of and the whys. Why does a woman choose to be with this type of guy? Why does a man choose to be with this type of woman? What is it that's missing? What needs to be, what void needs to be filled? And then when we start really looking in that mirror saying, I'm like this, and I attract this, and it comes out and essentially is about we are deficiting when it comes to self-love, especially us of color, people of color. Because if you loved yourself so ultimately, you don't have time for mess.
Amen.
You don't have it. If sisters are known as being the strongest women on earth, if you're going to walk with that title, you got to earn that title. And it just can't be a title. You got to have the substance behind it. You know? And you got to, and as you all have said, women have the power. Just utilize it. You know what I'm saying? But that comes back, are we teaching, like for me, I'm teaching my 10-year-old daughter, hate me or love me, how to be somebody's wife one day. Because my daughter can have all the sheepskins on the wall, driving a BMW, live in a condo apartment, and go to bed at night. And I don't want that for my kid. I want my daughter to have a husband. When she gets married, baby, drop Scott as your last name. Whatever that man's last name is, that's your new last name, because you're going to always be a Scott. But we got to raise our girls to think like that. Not just think, get your education, you don't need a man. You never hear somebody teaching a little boy, you don't need a woman. We'll tell our boys, You got to learn how to cook and clean it just in case at the time you don't have a woman. But we all know you're going to have a woman. You know? So we got to get to the core and start solving these problems.
I just wanted to make one comment about the core. One analogy, you know, a lot of people use is that men, we hunt and women are the prey. The problem is that what a lot of us probably don't realize is that a lot of the prey we hunting are damaged,
Yes,
are injured prey.
Yes, sir.
You know, the one thing that I found out after I actually wrote the book, and women started talking to me a little bit more freely, is you would never believe how many women have been molested when they were kids, how many women have been raped, you know, in high school, in college, as adults. You would never believe. I mean, I actually know one person who, in the group of her friends, like 2 or 3 of them have been raped. So that's the one thing that a lot of us don't actually think about, is that we date, us as men, that the women that we date, the women that we going out to get, this damaged prey. This injured prey. This is people. They, you know, we ain't catching no lion who young and healthy. We catching somebody who already got shot. And the thing is that, you know, while it may not have been you personally, somebody who looked like you, talked like you, you know, act like you is the one who did it. So a lot of times, I personally feel like we are responsible for a lot of this. I mean, we are responsible for a lot of this. I mean, we are responsible for the disconnect in our relationship. And I mean, if you want to go to the root of the problem. Now, I'm not saying that absolves women from everything, because, you know, y'all got y'all problems. Y'all funny acting too. But I think that if you go to the root of a lot of this, we got to look in the mirror.
But do you think, as a result of going through that, that's as a result of them not taking ownership for their decisions?
What do you mean?
Because that's the question. The question, and I kind of think we got kind of all.
But no, but in terms of rape, I don't think you mean that. I think what he mean, like maybe molested as a little kid. Things it's out of their control. Things is out of their control.
Things, if you was, I mean, to kind of put a personal thing, let's just say you have been molested as a little boy, your decision making would be different than it is right now. So, I mean, more likely. I mean, I do believe that if I had been molested as a child, my decision making would be different. And so, if you are a woman who has been molested as a little girl, her decision making probably is a lot different than somebody who grew up in a household that was loved, that you know, she experienced love. I mean, you see it all the time. There is a significant difference in a woman who grew up with a father and a mother, and a father who paid attention to her, than a woman who did not. Is a totally different.
That's right.
I mean,
Madonna.
I'm telling you, it's totally different. And so I think that that's one thing that, you know, a lot of people really don't take in consideration. And when you talk to the women, you ask them, so why didn't you say anything about it? I was too scared. I was too this. I was too that. So I mean, it's not as simple as, you know, she shouldn't be wearing, you know, little short clothes or too tight shirts or whatever. It's not that simple. It's like he said, what is the root of it? And the root of it a lot of times is the fact that they have already been damaged. They have already been damaged as kids, or as, I mean, one of the girls who actually told me that she had been raped, I mean, she openly admitted that after it, she would have sex with guys quicker, because while she was with them, she would feel like they gonna take it anyway.
Well,
So I mean,
there's a psychological dissonance when it comes to abuse. So I don't know if that was the question. That's a whole other conversation when it comes to abuse, because women do. The reason I say this is this: when I drive down the street and I'm going through the hood and all that, and I'm looking out here, and she might be 13, she might be 35, and they got the same outfit on. And so therefore they're advertising something. And I actually personally get sick of seeing so much, for lack of definition, ass and tits out in the public. Then I'm like, y'all have a higher goal or not? They're looking for the hookup. Now we can put it on abuse, we can put it on our community, we can put it on a lot of different things. But when I drive down the street and I can't tell if that's a hoe or a woman walking to school, there's a problem.
I got the perfect reason for that. If you look at our young sisters, they don't have many role models. I mean, the Michelle Obamas that walk around. You got Beyonce shaking it up in the skirts. You got all these video vixens out here. They don't really have anything to look up to. And then when you have these young mothers out here listening to the same thing, watching the same thing, what do you think their little girls are going to grow up doing? Okay, we don't have many Michelles walking around. And Oprah, come on, Oprah's on when they're at school. Okay, they don't have too many role models out here.
Oprah's not considered the norm. They want to be normal.
Exactly.
And they're looking at who's getting paid and who's attracting the attention.
Exactly. What they're looking at is what, because we all say this, that, well, men and women have different urges. Women have urges too, okay? They have a need to be loved. They have a need to be affectionate as well. They just have better control than we do, in my opinion. And they also have more options than we do. Less options than we do, put it that way. But the reason why I think they dress like that, they feel like they have to dress like that to attract their attention, unfortunately, it's the wrong kind of attention. Because the brothers, the real brothers out here that's looking for that Michelle Obama, ain't looking for the ass and titties walking out.
But that comes back to
That's not true.
As men. Wait, that comes back to
I said Marion, not Marion. I'm talking about fantasy, then reality. Fantasy, Marcus, yeah, I'm looking for that person. Sorry, baby. But the reality, Marcus, I don't want that in my life. Because that's going to, guess what? If that's going to attract me, I got you on her, and I got all you other brothers out here trying to get her. You know what I mean? I want that woman to say, hey, I'm a lady. You know what I mean? But for you, baby, I'm anything you want me to be. But as far as other men are going to see, that's a married woman. She should dress and look like a married woman, just like I should act and dress like a married man. But, you're exactly right. The way a woman dresses, she has some level of accountability there. It does not take away the excuses for her to go out there and accept any old type of bull crap, like we teaching our daughters not to accept. It doesn't give her the reason to do that. If you dress a certain way, like Chris Rock said, well, it was Dave Chappelle. I listen to comedy a lot. If you wearing a hooker's uniform, don't get mad when I call you a hooker. It's like me dressing like a police officer, and you run up and say, hey, officer.
Well, Marcus, don't we send women mixed messages, though?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, we do.
But that's because we're responding. It goes back to we're the respondent. We're not the person. My uncle said something interesting to me along when I was a kid. He said, if you drive through the hood, you don't find no ugly women up in the hood. Why? Because they put out that they're wanted, needed, and they're getting snatched up out of there. Mm-hmm. So now, if they're not getting snatched up out, they're taking the game to another level and say, okay, you don't want me because of my looks. How about this body? And that's got to change. And that's why I said, you go through the hood, I'm just like, man. And not even the hood, I'm just going to put that down. You go on the Gold Coast and see that. Like, damn, really, girl?
Hey, let me throw out this one point, too, because I know I heard it a few times. Understand something, that when a woman dresses a certain way, there's a percentage of them who are doing it for us or to attract something. But let's be real, man. I know women. Most of them are doing it for themselves. That's what they choose to do. So we got to check our ego with that. It's not always for us. It's for them. That's
but if black men were a
do.
little bit stronger and had the ability to say, you don't need to do that as a good black woman, I have the house for the right woman, they would not necessarily be doing it. And I know what you're saying. You're right. So there are other splits to that avenue. But I'm saying overall, as a consciousness in the black community, we actually have a very low self-esteem. Some of us that have our own success, therefore we raise our level of confidence. And therefore, but we're still just us. We're just individuals. I think the consciousness has to grow a little bit more as a black community, where we don't have to have the brother or the sister both thinking the other one's playing games. So now we're both elevating the bullshit. Why? Because we think that's what attracts each other.
Touch on this point, what you said, women, that's absolutely right. Just because they dress a certain way, it's not always about us. But as with anything in life, there are certain consequences and choices you take. So when those consequences come back to hunt you, when your roosters come home to crow, then you have to say, okay, I bear some level of accountability with that. I can't go out here and dress with my ass and titties hanging out, and then I'm pissed off every day because everybody called me a hoe.
Or trying to touch you.
You know what I mean?
Whistling.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, even as black men or men, period, you look at politicians, white politicians fall every day over a woman. It's a certain as far as your hormones element involved in that. I'm a married man, I'm faithful. But if I see a pair of ass and titties walk on, yes, a certain part of me, to keep it 100% real, is going to be like, wow. Women the same way. She see a brother walking around with his pecs all oiled up, yeah, she probably be like, okay, wow. But you have to have a certain level of cutoff to say, you know what, I'm married, I'm staying away from you.
You got some more.
There you go. We talked about that though, concerning temptation. Remember that? Nobody's above temptation. You kidding yourself, you think you are.
So women should be accountable for their choices and stop saying there's no good men. They're choosing those no good men.
Absolute choice and tracking them.
We are in a wonderful barbershop called Techniques. We're right here at 1575 East Sibley with a wonderful owner, Mr. Marcus Davis. He has been gracious enough to let us film here. It's a wonderful spot. Make sure you check it out if you need a haircut. Or he has a beauty shop right on the other side. So he can take care of you no matter what you need going on. And I love the kind